Go do it.
I am doing it. I'm sorry.
Get in here and do it.
I
I'll be up all night with you if I have to. Get in there and start.
I'm working on it. Let me do this stupid video so I can tell everybody at my command to get everything, help me get everything off the internet.
What's that? Say that again? What? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm sorry, folks. I have to close early. Everybody out. Everybody out. Thank you for visiting the Mean Bean. All right, good night. Good night.
He's back.
He's back!
So this year, I've gone to the movie theaters over 100 times to check out different movies in theaters. That means two things. The first is that I've wasted a ton of my time that I could be doing more productive things. The second is that I am single-handedly keeping the Regal cinemas open.
You're one of those heroes, aren't you?
And because I go to the movie so often, I get asked all the time what my favorite type of movie is. Hello, princess.
What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie is probably Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase, Lidley. Well, sit in your chair, because you're in for a scare, because my favorite type of movie is horror. I think the reason that I like horror movies so much is because growing up in my household, that was my mom's favorite kind of movie, so we would always be watching those type of movies, and it was just kind of a good way to connect with my mom.
My mom! 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 My mom!
As an adult, watching some of these movies, I kind of look back and I'm like, what the heck was she doing? Why was I watching this when I was such a small child?
Just a kid. No older than my son.
So most of the movies I would watch with my mom, they wouldn't never really like scare me all that much. I think it was because the movies were so old that like the effects in them kind of looked a little cheesy and outdated.
Did somebody say cheese?
I remember vividly, there's a scene in one of my favorites, Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy is kind of chasing down this girl to kill, and his arms are all like out like this, and it's so like laughably long. It looks so goofy. Now I love seeing practical effects in movies. I would 100% take a kind of crappy looking practical effect over, a so-so CGI effect, just because when you're seeing practical effects in movies, it's like, wow, an actual person made this. They used their time to craft something, instead of just like, oh, cool, computer did that.
You're not a robot, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, keep your eyes peeled. They're everywhere.
So my favorite horror movies, they utilize a lot of practical effects. So, for example, The Thing, it's this awesome movie, these researchers in Antarctica, this alien that can shift shape. It was made in the 80s, and the effects that they use stop motion. It was so cool. My other favorite horror franchise is The Evil Dead.
Groovy.
And they use some cool practical effects. I really like Evil Dead because it was made by a group of people that were very young, somewhat inexperienced. Sam Raimi was 19 years old when he was making this movie, and they made it on like a budget of almost nothing. And it was just a bunch of college kids going out into the woods and doing what they had to film it.
Girl, you got walkers all around you. They're in the woods.
And so, yeah, some of the effects may look a little goofy, but it's really like inspiring to kind of see what these young people were able to create. They had a vision. I was lucky enough to meet Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell at a convention a few years ago, and even though it was just such a brief interaction I had, it was a super great experience. Honestly, seeing what they were able to make kind of inspires me to, be more creative, to put out videos. I know this video isn't going to do good because none of my videos do good. Nobody watches this except for people that I tell to watch it. So thank you for watching this, 104 views that I'm gonna get at most. Please share this video so I get more than that many views, please. Thank you. Bye. So I'm sure a lot of you are kind of wondering. You're sitting there, you're thinking, well, if these actual horror movies didn't scare Zach, then what kind of things would scare Zach when he was a kid? My answer to that is it's a little nonsensical. For me, what freaked me out when I was a little kid was the idea of being turned into a baby. Stop it, Zach. Which probably doesn't make any sense, and you're probably sitting there thinking, like, why would that freak you out?
What's wrong? Scared.
But there was actually quite a few pieces of like media out there that had this kind of plot element to it. One example that's great is there's this movie called Sky High.
My judgment is final, so there will be no whiner babies.
And I'm sure most of you have seen it because I'm sure most people watching this are around my age demographic. But Sky High is a superhero movie for children, and it is about a high school where kids learn to use their powers, blah, blah, blah. You get it. In this movie, the main villain uses a device called the pacifier to make a bunch of adult superheroes turn into babies. And she's going to take those babies and raise them to be supervillains. And, you know, this movie came out in the early 2000s. I was probably watching it when I was like 6 or 7.
Say that again?
Wait, that's what I know he died. 6, 7. I just bit right on that.
And I was watching it, and I just remember like being like, oh my gosh, I don't want to turn into a baby. That seems horrifying.
I'm so fucking scared right now. You shut up.
And I'm sure you're probably thinking that this is just like a one-off thing, but it happens in a bunch of stuff. There's Goosebumps, which is another classic from my childhood. Spooky stories, spooky television. You guys know what Goosebumps is. I'm not gonna delve into it. Maybe in another video. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. In the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, there's this cuckoo clock, and this boy like breaks it and like snaps the neck on the cuckoo clock as it comes out, and he then starts like every day he's getting younger and younger, and then on like the end of it he's like a toddler. He's like 2 years old, and he's like, he knows it's like, this is my last chance. I'm gonna like turn into like a baby, like I'm gonna be poof out of existence. And that scared the crap out of me. I was like, this boy is gonna be a baby. That could happen to me. This is real.
No. Wait.
Another example for those readers out there, and also if anybody saw like the 1980s movie version of it, there's this Ray Bradbury story called
Something Wicked This Way Comes.
And in it, I'm sure a lot of you probably haven't read it or watched it. This carnival comes to town, and there is a magic Ferris wheel. And Ferris wheel? Whatever the thing with like the horses that spin, like carousel? Whatever this one, not like this one where people sit in the baskets, the one where people sit on horses and it's like this. I'm sure I look like a total idiot right now.
Correct.
But this magic attraction, we'll say theme park attraction, what it does is it can like change people's age. And so like the villain like catches the guy, and he's the kid, they're children. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to make you ride this and turn you into a baby. And you're going to have a baby mind, or you're going to have a boy mind in a baby body. You're going to be stuck. You can't do anything because you're a baby. And every time you get older, I'm just going to keep on dialing it back. You're going to be a baby forever. And I think what freaked me out a lot is just kind of like this idea of like being conscious, but being like unable to do things and interact in the world around me, because like a baby can't do that. A baby just poops and cries. I guess that's kind of what I do now, but at least I can spend my hard-earned money on some Fortnite V-Bucks, which you can't do as a baby.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
Now, there's obviously a whole bunch of other stuff that scared me as a kid, and yes, there was some actual horror movies that scared me. You know, my parents, the little practical jokesters that they are, they decided that they were going to have me watch the Blair Witch Project when I was a young boy, and then take me camping like 3 days later. The Blair Witch Project is one of the very first found footage movies, and so my child brain saw this movie and was like, oh, yeah, this is real. Like, this is obviously just someone found this camera, and I'm just watching their footage.
That's gonna kill me. That's real. That lives with us on Earth.
And so that did freak me out. So we go camping, and my father's friend at the time decided that he was going to have me experience the 4DX Blair Witch experience. He hid in my tent, and he waited there for like maybe an hour. I don't know how time works as a kid. And, you know, the movie's fresh in my head. I go to bed, and all of a sudden, this entity grabs me, and I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life. And in my head, I was like, oh, this is the Blair Witch. They're coming for me right now.
They're coming in through the back door.
The last bit of spooky horror movie shenanigans that I wanted to talk about that freaked me out a lot when I was growing up was like demonic forces and like possession really freaked me out. One movie that I can think of specifically was this movie that I'm sure none of my viewers have probably ever seen. I think it was called Devil. I'm going to throw up the poster right now. It's basically just this story of this elevator, like a group of people in the elevator, and one of them is the devil.
Again, I am the devil from the Bible, so...
And someone is possessed, people keep dying, and it's kind of like this whole thing where it's like, ooh, the devil, like, anyone could be possessed, it could be anyone, the imposter is among us.
Another day, another victory for the OG, taking down the sweats, the imposters among us.
And it freaked me out, and I just remember vividly, like, I watched this movie, and then it was bedtime, time to go to bed, and my parents were like, okay, go upstairs, and I just remember thinking, like, well, hold on, what if my dad is possessed? And so, when it was time to go upstairs, I was like, okay, you first, that way I could keep an eye on him, make sure he wasn't gonna, like, murder me or something. And lucky for me, he didn't. He wasn't possessed. Nobody is, as far as I know.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
But even though some kind of horror movies may have scared me as a child, it raised me, it made me into the man I am today with a bustling YouTube channel that has a lot of people who watch it.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I'm still watching horror movies to this very day. To this day. Some of my favorite movies that have come out this year have been horror movies. There was Sinners earlier in the year. It was a little bit of a slow start, but that vampire stuff was so cool. The Rocky Road to Dublin, they're like, in the merry month of June. I don't know how to do the Irish dance. You guys know. You guys saw the movie probably, maybe. I don't know.
Get out of here, get out of here.
Sammy. Later on in the year, we had 28 Years Later. This was a big movie that had a very large, throbbing, massive marketing push around it. I mean, I was seeing this ad for it everywhere. Got me really excited. I watched all the old ones. I loved this one. There was also a zombie with a big penis, but that's beside the point.
What do you mean?
You know, a little bit more recent, there was Weapons. You know, it was maybe not like, I don't know if it was a horror movie. I'm going to say, yeah, it was a horror movie. I think so. It was a ton of fun. I loved horror movies, and I love that they're kind of having a good year this year. With horror movies, you have a lot of original ideas that actually, you know, they're not just the same thing over and over again. I mean, some of them are, but I feel like there's a lot of new stuff coming out with horror, and that's why you guys should be supporting it. Go out and support your movie theaters. I support my movie theaters. I go use my Regal Unlimited like a couple times a week. Regal, please sponsor me for this ad. That's everything I want to say. Goodbye, chicken jockey. Hey team, this is Zach, the guy you're watching in this YouTube video as I edit the video. One thing that I wanted to mention right now is my well, I guess I'm a YouTuber, so he would be my coworker. Chris Stuckman just made a spooky horror movie. Scariest movie I've seen. Damn near pissed my pants. Go check it out, you know. I saw it after I filmed this, so I'm just putting it in here. Okay, bye. Okay, this is editing video part 2. I didn't even say what the movie was called. It's called Shelby Oaks. Spooky Shelby Oaks. Okay.
Coming soon to Glendo Entertainment.
Review the movie? Movie jockey.
La 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 lava.